Moving on now, the nuclear threat from Iran is real, as is the risk of a nuclear disaster in Ukraine. Earlier this month, the country's largest nuclear plant caught fire. This week, a power outage was reported at the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Both these incidents have led to fears of a nuclear tragedy, of radioactive elements getting leaked into the atmosphere. The fear is pushing many to take preemptive steps, especially in Europe and America. People there are buying potassium iodide pills. Why? To keep their immune system safe from nuclear radiation. But what are potassium iodide pills? How effective are they against radiation, and should we be taking them already? Here's a report.
The intensifying war in Ukraine has led to a surge in the demand of something unusual. Potassium iodide. What's that? The Center for Disease Control describes it as a salt of stable iodine that can help block radioactive iodine from being absorbed by the thyroid gland, thus protecting this gland from radiation injury. In simpler terms, potassium iodide combats nuclear radiation. It can guard the body's immune system in the event of a nuclear war, the chances of which are increasingly growing. On the 4th of March, fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces led to a fire at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, the largest nuclear plant in all of Europe. Fortunately, the fire was extinguished before it could reach the plant's reactors. It's been barely 10 days, and there's another threat, this time at the Chernobyl nuclear plant, the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster. Reports claim that a high-voltage power line at this plant had been damaged by Russian forces. The power was soon restored, but the fears of a nuclear tragedy are only growing.
If the missile rocket gets there, the shelter object could be destroyed. And then the radiation would spread all over Europe. If any of the reactors at Energodar Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is damaged, it will be Fukushima.
Back in Europe, these developments have triggered panic. There's a growing fear that radioactive iodine could soon get released in the atmosphere. This has led to panic buying of potassium iodide pills. People are lining up at medical stores to stock up. A 100-fold increase in demand has been reported in Finland. In Belgium, at least 30,000 residents have got these pills. There's panic buying in America too. Inventories are running out of stocks. Prices are rising by the day, while the fear seems to be justified. The big question is, how safe are potassium iodide tablets? The CDC says these tablets work, but only for 24 hours. Meaning they can block the intake of radioactive iodine for just 1 day. Furthermore, it says that these tablets should not be taken unless there is actually a risk of a nuclear exposure. Which means that ingesting the medicine preventatively and without supervision could end up doing more harm than good.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.